I know you're tired, sleepless nights. You don't smile where you're mine. What's on your mind? Oh, baby, baby. In and out, you're spacing out. We're falling out. Ooh, I doubt. Don't shut me out. Oh, baby, baby. Things ain't the same for real. Don't hide it from me, baby. Tell me how you feel. Love and affection, I can help you heal. And you know I can keep it real.
Baby, I can be someone anytime you need someone. Call me someone. I'd rather be with you than be here without you.
Baby, I can be
Someone
anytime you need
someone.
Call me
Someone
I'd rather be with you than here without you.
you're worth the while. I run a mile to help you fight, make it right. Hold you tight, oh baby, baby, no more tears. It's a drought. Let's work it out, pull you out, won't let you drown. Oh baby, baby, things ain't the same for real. Please don't keep it bottled, tell me how you feel. Love and affection, I can help you heal. And you know I'ma keep it real. Baby, I can be someone anytime you need someone. Call me someone. I'd rather be with you than be here without you.
Baby, I can be
Someone
anytime you need
someone.
Call me
Someone
I'd rather be with you than here without you.
Baby, I can be someone anytime you need someone.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Good morning, Jammers, and welcome to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show, the TGIF edition here. We made it to another whole week, you guys. The weeks just keep coming, right? But here we are, Friday, once again here on the Jams and Coffee Morning program. I thank you so much for joining me over on YouTube or Facebook. We're listening in on JNC Radio, over on the JNC Podcast website, jncpodcast.com, or listening through the LIVE365 Radio App. Wherever you're catching the show this morning, I hope that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our social medias. That would be awfully nice of you out there. I hope everybody enjoyed their Thursday evening. I did. It was a wonderful, cool night at the Manatee Island Bar and Grill in Fort Pierce, Florida. I performed there. It was a small but mighty crowd. It was a little chilly out there, but it's the weather that I long for. Hi, Jordan. It's the weather that I wait all year for. Last night was the first night that I was like, winter has finally arrived in Florida, if only fleeting, and only for a few moments before the temperatures knock back up. But they'll only do so, and I think there's another cold front coming right behind this past one on Saturday. So we might have an extended period of this type of weather. So there you go. Philip and Paul holding down the fort for me there over on YouTube. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in with me. Let's see. What do we got going on today? Speaking of the weather, I suppose we should talk about it. It's a chilly and crisp. What a weird combination of words there. It's chilly and crisp Friday morning across South Florida, with the temperatures in the mid to upper 50s along the Treasure Coast and the low to mid 60s for the Palm Beaches under partly cloudy skies this morning. Moving into the afternoon, the highs are going to make it into the mid to upper 70s with a mix of sun and clouds and the wonderful, amazing low humidity. That's what I live for. I don't mind it being a little warm outside as long as that humidity is just out the door. You feel like you go outside and it's so humid that you start sweating instantly. And I'm a sweater. That's also a weird word to say. I'm not an actual, you can't wear me. I'm not a sweater, but I do sweat. Yeah, when it's high humidity, forget it. I walk outside and it's like I stepped out of the shower. Moving into Saturday morning, those temperatures are once again going to be in the mid to upper 50s for the Treasure Coast and the low to mid 60s for the Palm Beaches. Highs are going to be topping out in the upper 70s and low 80s under partly cloudy skies with only an isolated shower possible, and the humidity stays low. So it's going to be a nice start to the weekend out there. I hope you enjoy it. Yes, Paul, it is sweater weather out there. So be sure to put a little sweater or a little zip up in your car when you head out there, because as soon as the sun goes down, it's probably going to be a little chilly out there. I do have just a couple of national days today. Beg my pardon. Beg your pardon. I beg everybody's pardon. Let's see. What do we got here today? It's National Princess Day. What does that mean? Well, we're all going to find out here. You can celebrate the princess and every girl by taking part in National Princess Day on November 18th. Perhaps you know a princess who shines because of her gift of laughter, making everyone around them smile. Maybe your princess shows her royal nature by her great acts of kindness and heart of gold. Or your princess may be bold and confident, ready to take on every new challenge. Whatever our gifts, there's a princess in each of us. That's fun to know, even if you don't know it yet. Well, how do you observe National Princess Day? Let's see. I don't know. It doesn't tell me. I guess, just let out your inner princess and celebrate maybe a princess in your life. Maybe for dudes, that's the best thing to do. Oh, there's that. National Princess Day. Interesting. Perhaps it's all because it's also Mickey Mouse's birthday. Maybe that's why. It's also National Substitute Educators Day. American Education Week wraps up this week with the recognition of teachers and administrators by recognizing Substitute Educators Day. The event occurs the Friday before Thanksgiving each year. Can you believe Thanksgiving's almost here? And highlights the important role substitute teachers play in education. According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, there were over 500,000 substitute teachers in 2020. These educators fill the shoes of the class's regular teacher for half a day up to several weeks. Substitutes apply to teach in a school district. They will receive a notice from the district of an opening sometimes hours before they're needed. Other times, substitutes fill in for a teacher when they are scheduled to be away. A substitute often doesn't know which subject they may be teaching from one week to the next. They're flexible and resilient. Goodness, I've got a frog in my throat this morning. They are flexible and resilient educators who provide a bridge between full-time educators and their students. So, there you go. Thank you for your service, I suppose. Substitute Educators Day. And I think that's it for our national days today. So, not very much. There's no food options today. So I'm going to starve to death for lunch. That's how that's going to go. Let's see. Philip just under the wire there is got in his morning jams and coffee irrelevant weather report for Middle Tennessee. He said it's going to be in the mid-20s this morning up there and going up to near 40 today. Whoa, it's a heat wave, Philip. Clear and sunny today, he said. Another reinforcing cold front coming in, which we'll be getting on Saturday, tomorrow. He said that's going to keep the temperatures down in the 20s at night and the 40s only during the day. Paul said, or better known as being nipply out. Yes. I got a few stories. Most of them land in the entertainment world today. Some interesting stuff is going down in the world of live music. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about lab-grown meat. Well, what better way to kick off the morning? So, yeah, we're going to talk about Taylor Swift's concert ticketing snafu with Ticketmaster. If you have trouble sleeping, Shawn Mendes, singer-songwriter Shawn Mendes, has some sleeping tips that I'm going to share with you. We're going to talk a little bit about Elton John's retirement. And we'll talk a little bit about Ozzy Osbourne's Grammy nominations. That's all coming up here on Jams and Coffee in the Morning. We're going to take a quick music break, our very first of the morning here. And then we're going to come back with some stories. Thanks for listening. And don't go away. We'll be right back. Here's one from Christine Baird. This is Alone Tonight. You're listening to Jams and Coffee in the Morning.
Will you call me when you get off the train? I don't care if it's midnight again. All I wanna hear you say is, baby, I know why don't you head this way? 'Cause I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. Oh, tonight. I know I will be alright. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. Every time you call my name, send shivers down my spine. I can't wait a minute more for your place or mine. Ain't no way that you can say you don't want me by your side. Ain't no way to make it through another lonely night. Ain't no way that you can say you don't want me by your side. Ain't no way to make it through another lonely night. Another lonely night. Another lonely night. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight. I know I would be alright. I don't wanna sleep alone tonight.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show.
Yes. You are listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show. Once again, that was Christine Baird with Alone Tonight. And I thank you for tuning in with me this morning. Interesting stories this morning here. First one I want to tap into is the FDA has made a decision in its infinite wisdom to say that lab-grown meat is okay for human consumption. So, let's talk about that. We'll get through the article, and then I'll tap you guys for comment. See what you think about lab-grown meat. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has given a safety clearance to lab-grown meat for the very first time. Upside Down Foods, a wouldn't-you-know California-based company that makes meat from cultured chicken cells, will be able to begin selling its products once its facilities have been inspected by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The agency said it had evaluated the information submitted by Upside Down Foods, and it had no further questions at this time about the firm's safety conclusion. Dr. Robert Califf, the FDA's Commissioner of Food and Drugs, and Susan T. Main, Director of the FDA's Center for Food Safety, went on to say advancements in cell culture technology are enabling food developers to use animal cells obtained from livestock, poultry, and seafood in the production of food. Interesting. With these products expected to be ready for the U.S. market in the very near future. The FDA's goal is to support innovation in food technologies while always maintaining as our first priority the safety of the foods available to the U.S. consumers. Also added to the statement there, Upside Down Foods founder and CEO Uma Valetti said on Twitter that its cultivated chicken was, quote, one step closer to being on tables everywhere. Upside Down has received our no questions letter from the FDA. Valetti tweeted, they've accepted our conclusion that our cultivated chicken is safe to eat. He told CNN earlier this year that the process of making cultivated meat was similar to brewing beer, but instead of growing yeast or microbes, we grow animal cells. These products are not vegan, vegetarian, or plant-based. They are real meat made without the animal. Singapore was the first country to allow the sale of cultured meat. It granted San Francisco startup Eat Just Incorporated regulatory approval in 2020 to sell its laboratory-grown chicken in Singapore. Advocates hope that cultured meat will reduce the need to slaughter animals for food and help with the climate crisis. The food system is responsible for about a quarter of the global greenhouse gas emissions, most of which are from animal agriculture. Upside Down Foods said in a statement, "We are thrilled at the FDA's historic announcement that after a rigorous evaluation, Upside Down Foods has become the first company in the world to receive the U.S. FDA green light for cultivated chicken." According to David Kay, their Director of Communications at Upside Down Foods. At scale, cultivated meat is projected to use substantially less water and land than conventionally produced meat. Although not technically an approval, the FDA said that a thorough pre-market consultation process has been completed. The clearance only applies to food made from cultured chicken cells by Upside, but the statement said the FDA is ready to work with additional firms developing cultured animal cell food. So, what do we think? What do we think out there? Would you partake in lab-grown meat? My reaction may surprise you. Let me look at the comments here before I jump in. Paul said, well, I guess we've all been waiting for the food from the Jetsons. Paul also wants to know where the flying cars are. Philip says, but we won't get to hear as many cow farts by doing this. That's correct. No cow farts at all, really. So, you know, as a Star Trek fan, I do enjoy Star Trek. Most people do. And they have a device on the show that they call the replicator. Yeah, and this is where the people eat from. The machine, for all intents and purposes, takes proteins and basically all the nutrition that the body needs and mimics food that is familiar to you or your culture or whatever the case is. It puts it all together and flavors it in such a way that it's recognizable by your palate. Oftentimes on the television show, they complain that it doesn't taste like it does back home, you know, or the real stuff. They're always looking for real food. So this is one step forward, I think, to that. But will we be like the folks on Star Trek, saying, "Man, this is chicken. I understand, but like it's not really." Will it taste the same as real chicken? I mean, it is real chicken, but will it taste the same as a bird that was hatched and grew up to then be slaughtered for food? Only time will tell. My take on it is I'm down. I'm ready. Bring on the space food. I'm interested. I'd like to see what it's like. I'm not a fan of the plant-based meats. I think that's weird, and they doesn't taste right to me. I'm not a vegan. I'm not a vegetarian. So, I know what a steak tastes like, and this isn't it. But if they're able to make a steak from animal cells, then they can use the same animal to make thousands of steaks. I find that fascinating. And I feel like that could perhaps be a major step in ending hunger around the world. As long as it's nutritious and not, somehow down the road going to form cancer cells, which will, as many things do. But this has been something I've been following for a long time, and I find it fascinating. I think it's interesting. I don't understand how they can make animal food or, out of cells that have no exercise, or I don't know how they're going to do that, because otherwise it would be like jelly, right? That's what makes, like chickens, for example, they are, the meat has its consistency because, they're out there running around like chickens, strengthening the muscle, which we then decide to eat. So would it be the same? I don't know. I have so many questions. I'm sure that the FDA asked them, and I'm sure the process is interesting. I'm down. I'm ready to try it. Let's see. Yeah, Paul says, they did it in the Matrix. The goop they ate was what their body needed. See? I imagine that's, I think they're trying to eliminate that. I think they're actually trying to make it somewhat recognizable. So would you still make a reference to everyone else that it tasted like chicken? I think so. And would pork be the other white meat or the only white meat? I don't know. And will the product resemble chicken? Obviously, they'll be able to cultivate it and shape it into whatever they want, I suppose. Very interesting. And how long does it take to create a chicken breast? Or whatever piece that they're deciding to make? I don't know. But I'm in. And I suppose that it really wouldn't matter if you make little lab-grown chicken balls, bread them, and then put them in the fryer. We call them boneless chicken wings. I'm in. I'm in on this. And chicken, I guess, is a great first step because I feel like it's probably one of the most palatable meats. But interesting to see if they're going to do pork or if they're going to do steak. We'll follow the story. I find it fascinating, this stuff. I am interested to see what it's going to taste like. Brett over there on Facebook said chicken balls. Yep. We'll make little chicken balls. Hey, man, if you could dip it in barbecue sauce or shake it up in buffalo wing sauce, like I said, bread it, fry it, shake it in buffalo sauce, a little blue cheese. I'm in. What did Jordan? Jordan said something. She shot me a message. Let's see if I can pull it up here real quick. Jordan, of course, listening in her car on the drive through JNC Radio. Love you, babe. Appreciate that. She said, seems kind of gross, but can't be any more disturbing than actual meat. And that's, and I feel like, people give vegans a hard time, especially the vegan activists, and get out there and they pour the milk all over the floor. And they do all the shenanigans and in protest. And let's not be coy. The cultivation of livestock from a outsider perspective is horrific. It's the scariest thing to ever look up. Do not look it up if you enjoy eating. It's really, but this has been going on for hundreds of years now. Man has been slaughtering animals and eating them. This is just done on an incredibly clean and large scale now. So it's really it's not fun to watch. So you certainly won't catch me doing that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And I feel like this is one step closer to less of that. And in the grand scheme of things, I think this is a great way to help out countries that have a serious nutritional deficiency. This is the way to do it without having to raise up, hundreds of thousands of animals and then figure out how to get them to these people. They're growing it. It's amazing. I think it's amazing. But it's not all about me. Love to hear what you guys have to say. Brett over there, he said, great slogan. No balls were harmed in the making of this snack. See? They can cultivate chicken balls without harming the chicken. Just take a little sample. I'm in. It's funny in the background. Ironic enough, is Zach Brown's Chicken Fried is playing in the background. Oh, the universe is funny. It's a good joke today. Yep, we'll move on to another story, but feel free to comment about this. Let that sink in. Lab-grown meat is approved by the FDA, and will be coming to stores near you. I'm in line. I'm in line. I'll buy it. It would be especially awesome if it was affordable as well. If the lab-grown chicken breast is about 3 times as much as getting a natural one. You know, I don't like food innovations that are only for people of a certain income level. You know, I feel like poor people always get shafted when it comes to food innovation. It's like, oh, we've got all this really cool stuff, but you still have to eat, you know, dollar chicken sandwiches from Walmart and McDonald's. I don't know. And Paul, I did say that I dip my chicken balls in barbecue sauce. What of it? What of it? He also said, yeah, it would reduce the concern of avian flu that kills off all the chicken farm people, or the chicken farms. Yeah, it would eliminate a lot of those problems. You know, there's an issue with the avian flu and the turkeys and Thanksgiving. Interesting how it all kind of comes together. But, you know, it would eliminate that. So, I don't know. I'm here for it. I'm along for the ride. I'm along for the ride. Here's something that's also interesting. And before I dive into this story, you know, a Ticketmaster announced a while back, I suppose, that their pricing was going to be market-driven for their tickets, their live concert tickets. And overall, it's been wildly unsuccessful. It's been a complete detriment. The idea was to stop scalpers from buying huge hordes of tickets and then selling them at outrageous prices. Ticketmaster sat in a boardroom meeting and said, you know what? We're going to solve this scalper problem by becoming the scalpers ourselves. So instead of a third party buying all these tickets at base price and then selling them for obscene amounts of money, we'll just do that. And then somebody said, brilliant. And they put pen to paper, and that's what we're looking at now. Well, I don't think they were expecting the Swifties, the fans of Taylor Swift, to just go completely ballistic when she announced her 50 concert dates next year. And the tickets went on sale, and this woman sold an earth-shattering amount of tickets in a single day. Oh, let's just dive into the story here. I'm sure that will be written in there. But my God, we talk about Taylor Swift quite a bit, either here on this show or we talk about her on the Jams and Cocktails podcast during the Geordie Files. Whatever you feel about her music or her personally, which is interesting because none of us know her personally, all of that aside, she is unstoppable. Her fan base is so incredibly loyal, as will be lined out in this story. And the way that she just keeps people baited is unbelievable. Unbelievable. She held the top 10 spot for 3 weeks in a row, all spots on the Billboard Hot 100, all 10, top 10. Every song on her record. I think there was only 11 songs, 12 songs. I digress. Here's the story. So it's been 5 long years since Taylor Swift has been on tour. And with over 50 concert dates next year, Eras, the singer's 6th tour, is set to be the biggest jewel of the musician's career. Fans, or Swifties as they like to call themselves, have been in an absolute frenzy and haze for tickets. But most have been left ghosted in queues. Adam Falk, who bought tickets for the Kansas City, Missouri show, said, I had 3 to 4 sets of tickets in my cart, and they were all taken as people were getting in there ahead of me and securing them faster. Nicole Diasis said, I got in the waiting line at 10 a.m. for pre-sale and was not let in to get tickets until 2 p.m. It took me a lot of hours just being on my computer and waiting. She bought her tickets for East Rutherford, New Jersey. After less than a day of presale, which were only available to a chosen number of fans, Ticketmaster announced it was struggling to keep up with historically unprecedented demand, with millions showing up. Tisk, tisk, Ticketmaster. The company pushed its Capital One presale day, and it later canceled the entire general public ticket sale for Eras, which is the name of the tour. Previously, the online betting platform Bookies.com said fans had a 1 in 50 shot of actually getting tickets. Now that's even less likely, especially with soaring resale prices. I think that shit should be illegal everywhere on Earth. The day after tickets first went up, the company's pre-sale inventory was completely sold out. Scalpers, as we lovingly call them, were already reselling tickets on platforms like StubHub for triple the original price, with some listed for as high as $30,000 to $45,000. So, Ryan Sullivan, an entertainment lawyer, said scalping is not illegal at the federal level, and states regulate it in many different ways. Said consumers will definitely become more critical, especially if they can't get the tickets. And then they see them on StubHub, and instead of $100, it's now $500 on StubHub. You can see who's selling it, and somebody might be selling 10 packages of 4, and you're like, well, how did they get 10 packages of 4? Well, many online scalpers use bots to buy large batches of tickets, and while states like Tennessee have passed anti-bot laws to protect consumers, the law has proven difficult to enforce because, the internet. Although Swift's fan base has revealed more of these ticketing issues, this isn't just happening with her concert tickets. Nope. Ticket prices have spiraled out of control 2 other times this year with Bruce Springsteen and Harry Styles. But now officials like Tennessee's Attorney General are paying attention and taking note of the consumer complaints surrounding the Eras tour and questioning if the problem is Ticketmaster failing to give consumers fair opportunities to buy tickets. A 2018 government report found Ticketmaster holds back as many as 90% of the tickets for the secondary market, meaning credit card companies, promoters, radio stations, or artists' fan clubs. Others, including some lawmakers, blame sky-high ticket prices on the 2009 merger of Live Nation and Ticketmaster, calling their business a monopoly. Is it? The argument is there's too much control by one company over a substantial number of venues and concert shows, Sullivan said. Of course, if there's 2 arenas in one city and one is owned by Live Nation, odds are the concert promotion will be going to the one owned by Live Nation. And they're making money up and down the chain. Hannah Knight bought tickets for the Glendale, Arizona show for $250 each. Reasonable. I could see people paying that for Taylor Swift. But she later saw the same area being resold for $1,700 a ticket. And she thinks one of the reasons was she was able to score tickets was because her venue was one of the few not being sold on Ticketmaster. She said, we do think we were extra lucky because we're attending the show in Glendale, Arizona. Their stadium doesn't use Ticketmaster. They sell their tickets through SeatGeek. We're flabbergasted at how we got tickets, honestly, she said. Live Nation, of course, Ticketmaster's parent company, owns concert venues, promotes tours, and sells tickets. Many argue that it leaves little room for competition, which means fans are left with virtually no alternative other than to pay what Ticketmaster is asking. According to More Perfect Union, Ticketmaster's fees now cost as much as 78% of the ticket. Even Joe Biden has promised to take on hidden fees when it comes to this kind of thing. It's serious now. The Federal Trade Commission started work on a rule to crack down on unfair and deceptive fees across all industries. Fees that were never disclosed, and there were no ways to avoid the fee, like processing fees or for concert tickets, according to President Biden. Critics of the Live Nation Ticketmaster merger say the president's move is a good start, but there might be a way bigger overhaul needed. to address these issues within the live event industry. So, it's crazy. And hey, to be fair, like, you know, they did have the problem with Springsteen and Harry Styles, but this is earth-shattering, the amount of people that were queued up to buy tickets for this woman's concert tour. Really, really fascinating. And, yeah, some of these tickets, $30,000 to $45,000 for a ticket to a concert. I want to know where these people are getting their money from, for one, because I want to do what they're doing. Because internet radio broadcasting isn't doing it. It's not cutting it. Not able yet to afford a $45,000 concert ticket. Just sit in the nosebleeds. But I don't know. Has anybody ever had problems with Ticketmaster? I feel like I never buy concert tickets. Jordan is the one that's always on top of that. She's always the one being like, "Oh, so and so's coming to town. Should I get tickets?" And I'm like, "Yeah, get them." Let's see. What does Paul have to say about this? He said, "Yeah, the ticket thing is a debacle. It's like the fox guarding the fake chicken hen house." He also went on to say she has the power to change this ticket bullshit. I hope she uses her position to do something about it. He also said, don't buy the tickets. Let Ticketmaster suffer. And then the artists suffer. But is it the artists? I don't know. I feel like I have to do some digging. I don't think the artists set the ticket prices. I'm sure that they have an influence over it, but I feel like in this day and age, I think they get their guarantee, and then the venue and the promoter get whatever they sell in tickets. I think that's how it pans out. So the artist, gets their merch and gets their guarantee, especially an artist like her. I don't feel like Taylor Swift goes to a venue and says, and has to negotiate real hard about, getting a percentage of the ticket sales and blah, blah, blah. And, if you bring this many people, we'll throw in a guarantee. I don't think that's how that negotiating table works. I'm pretty sure she goes in and says, I want to play here. And they go, whatever you want, whatever you want. How much money do you want? $10 million? Done. Where do we write the check? Let me get my checkbook. Because if they're charging $45,000 for a ticket, they're going to make their money back. Do that 20,000 times. People are paying it. It's unbelievable. So I don't know. Maybe I'll dig. When we come back on Monday, maybe I'll have some more information. Because I find it fascinating. This article was very brief. But interesting. And now you got the government sticking their dirty, filthy hands into it. We're the government. We're going to figure it out for the people. Nah, man. We'll see what they do. Anyway, for Taylor Swift, where she's concerned, I guess it's not a terrible problem to have that people are upset but willing to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a ticket to her show. Fascinating. Let's see. Did anybody have trouble sleeping? Not me. I could fall asleep right here, right now, and give you guys some snoring ASMR or, some voyeur action. You can just watch me rest. I could fall asleep immediately. And not just here, but anywhere. I have no trouble sleeping. But for those of you that do, Shawn Mendes, singer-songwriter and pop star, he's got some sleeping tips. Some of his sleeping tips to share with you. We'll dive into that. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says an alarming number of Americans aren't getting enough sleep. Surprise, surprise. And if you are among one of those 3 people who are in serious need of a nap, Shawn Mendes has some advice for you. Shawn not only created a new sleep story for the Calm app, where he reads the story, We Are Connected, to help lull fans to sleep. He also shared what sends him off to dreamland. The Calm app. Has anybody tried the Calm app? Is it really celebrities just reading you bedtime stories? I'm here for it. I live for that stuff. I wonder if I could put my own on there. Read you a bedtime story. Start my own app. What did he say? So Sean says, after a busy day, nighttime is a chance to reconnect with myself, get closer to what's on my mind, and to disconnect from anything that's going on that may be distracting me. He explained, according to a release from Calm. One of those distractions, he notes, is his smartphone. Well, that's interesting that the Calm app is on the smartphone. He said, I do my best to put my phone away as I'm getting ready for bed and always have it set for do not disturb. Be easy to get sucked into whatever never-ending scroll or get sucked into a never-ending scroll. So by setting these boundaries, he said, I'm able to tune into my mind and body and take back that time for myself. Sean also explained that he uses nighttime to improve his mental health by meditating if he needs to wind down. He added, tuning back into my breath and reflecting on the day or what's ahead is an important part of caring for my mental health. Now, Sean doesn't discount a nice warm shower to get him ready for bedtime. As for one thing Sean cannot go to without sleep, he says it's an open window. He said, I'd love to have the lights low in the house and open up my windows for a couple of hours before bed, even if it's chilly, to get some fresh air in the house. He shared, adding it helps him sleep better. I get that. I might even crack open some of the windows today. Get some fresh air in this house. It's wonderful out. Most times out of the year, though, I don't think opening windows in South Florida or the Treasure Coast or anywhere in Florida really is going to do much. You end up with giant mosquitoes and sweating to death. But there's some tips from Shawn Mendes. Maybe get you a better night's sleep. Mike Lebeck tuning in over on YouTube. He's packing for road shows in Tampa area and back to Costa on Sunday. Nice, man. Well, have a safe trip, Mike. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Let's look everywhere else. Brett said he just listened to Taylor Swift over on Facebook. See, she's everywhere. How could you not? 10 songs on the Hot 100 at the top. Unbelievable. I listened to a few of the tracks. I'm here for it. I feel like I'm very positive today. I'm here for everything. Lab-grown meat, Taylor Swift. I'm here for Shawn Mendes telling me bedtime stories on the Calm app. I'm here for it. I'm here for it today. God, somebody try to sell me something. I'll probably buy it today. A couple more stories here. Elton John, as we know, is on his farewell tour. It's his last show in the United States is coming closer and closer. So here's the story. This is why he chose to retire from touring. Elton John closes out his farewell Yellow Brick Road tour this summer. And his husband, David Furnish, explained why the legendary singer wants to take his final bow from touring. He said, I think the most important thing and the most significant thing for us is what this means to our family, Furnish told Billboard. Because as long as I've known Elton, he's been on the road doing 90 to 100 shows annually. It's a big commitment. Furnish said he and Elton, Sir Elton, now have an even bigger commitment to attend to, and that's their beautiful sons. The pair share 9-year-old Elijah and 11-year-old Zachary. He explained, we were able to take them with us in the early days, but now they have lives of their own. And that's really important that they continue to have their own lives, their own identity, and not to have their life defined by their father's career. So Sir Elton will close out the U.S. leg of his farewell tour with a trio of dates at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, with the very final night set for November 20th, which is exceptionally close. As for why Elton chose to close things out in L.A., Furnish said, the city is a very, very special place for us. We have a home here. Our sons were born next door. They're coming in next week to see the shows. We have our annual Oscar party here. We've raised $95 million for the Elton John AIDS Foundation with that event for over 25 years, he explained. So LA's the spot. Sir Elton John's final show at Dodger Stadium will be live streamed on Disney Plus on Sunday. And I think iHeartRadio is carrying, his final song, and he's got a big message for everybody in America. And then the Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour concludes July 8th with a show in Stockholm, Sweden. And that will be the end for Sir Elton John's touring career. So we think, so we've been told, we've heard this story before. So, bittersweet. I think Elton John's had a tumultuous and gigantic and influential career, and he deserves to go and raise his kids and hang out if that's what he chooses to do. I think he's put in enough work. Brad over there on Facebook said Taylor Swift puts him to sleep. He asked, how about a lab-grown Taylor Swift? I don't think we're far from it. We got lab-grown chicken balls. Might as well have a lab-grown Taylor Swift to go along with it. Everybody gets their own Taylor Swift. You can buy it at Walmart. Next story here. Ozzy Osbourne just killing it at the Grammys. Nominations dropped just earlier this week. And he said in a statement he's overwhelmed after his latest solo album, Patient Number 9, was nominated for 4 Grammy Awards. The album's in the running for Best Rock Album, while the title track featuring Jeff Beck is up for Best Rock Performance and Best Rock Song. Furthermore, Ozzy's Degradation Rules collaboration with his former Black Sabbath bandmate Tony Iommi is nominated for Best Metal Performance. Ozzy's been nominated for 8 Grammy Awards in his career and has won 3 times. First as a solo artist back in '93 for I Don't Want to Change the World. Then with Black Sabbath in 2000 and 2013. Wow, he got 4 nominations and only 8 over his whole career. So that's just all happening in 1 year. Good for him. In a tweet sent Wednesday, Ozzy referred to the health problems that have prevented him from touring for the past 3 years and inadvertently led to his last 2 solo albums. He wrote, I'm honestly overwhelmed. Making this record was a great way to get me back to work as I continued to heal. It's pretty great to be acknowledged at this point in my career. So Ozzy has been forthcoming about his struggles with depression amid his rehab from numerous spinal operations and the pandemic. He says working on music was a positive way to focus his time and energy while he couldn't physically do much else. The album also afforded the Prince of Darkness the opportunity to work with his friends and some of his favorite musicians. In addition to producer Andrew Watt, Beck, and Iommi, Patient Number 9 features contributions from Chris Chaney, Eric Clapton, Taylor Hawkins, Mike McCready, Duff McKagan, Chad Smith, Robert Trujillo, Zach Wilde, and others. It's an all-star cast there on that record. He continued, and as a follow-up Q&A, it turned out better than I ever expected. And having Taylor Hawkins with me in my studio like a week before he passed away was absolutely amazing. And to think he's gone breaks my heart. After having a final neck surgery this past summer, Ozzy hopes to get back on tour next spring. So we may see an Ozzy Osbourne show. Hopefully he doesn't sell his tickets through Ticketmaster. Could be problematic. But congratulations to all the Grammy nominees and to Ozzy. I love to see these classic guys come in and be nominated because for all intents and purposes, rock and roll is really on life support. So these guys are keeping it alive, and I appreciate it. So Ozzy, congratulations, and it's okay to be overwhelmed. 4 Grammy nominations, it's massive. All right, we're gonna take a music break. When we come back, I got some celebrity birthdays for you, and then I've got some shameless plugs, and we'll get you on with your day. Killbillies have a new record coming out soon. Back to Basics. We don't have anything from them yet, but here's one of their earlier tunes. This is Promised Dream. You're listening to Jams and Coffee in the morning. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
So from ourselves, but we were happy for the ocean in between. Looking for a new start, we sadly said farewells, and we found all of that and more than we had ever bargained for. Cause round here no one cares much where you're from, just as long as you got it going on. Instead of who do you think you are, we said who do you want to be? Though it ain't easy, I'm out here sowing seeds for the last shreds of a promised dream. Out for ourselves, but still ladies and gentlemen, I'd say we carved out a living with help from all our friends. I play music, Christy, well, she rents boats by the day. Cause round here no one cares much where you're from, just as long as you know right from wrong. Instead of who do you think you are, we say who do you want to be? Though it ain't easy, I'm out here sowing seeds for the last shreds of a promised dream. It's not all sunshine and roses, bad apples, yeah, there's a few. Suicides and overdoses, they break our heart, yeah, they break it in two. As the worst year of our lives crashes down around us still, I'm so glad that I'm alive and sucking on this bitter pill. Cause round here no one cares much where you're from, we just care that you keeping on. Instead of who do you think you are, we say who do you want to be? And though it ain't easy, I'm out here sowing seeds for the last shreds of a promised dream. And though it ain't easy, I'm out here sowing seeds for the last shreds of a promised dream.
All right, that's the Killbillies there with Promised Dream. We were just talking, Philip said it's not an easy task to pull off having a banjo in the band and make it work, and the Killbillies for sure make it work. They sure do. It's so funny because he's not even an actual banjo player. He learned to play banjo just for this band. Same with Hector. He learned to play stand-up bass just for this band. And so those guys are great. And looking forward to that. Looking forward to that new record. Does it release tomorrow, Paul? I'll find out. If it does, it'll certainly show up on our social medias. We'll definitely throw it out there and have to put some of their new tunes in rotation on JNC Radio. I just found this video before we get into the shameless plugs segment here in the celebrity birthdays. So we're doing Christmas earlier this year because I decided I wanted to have more than just a couple of weeks of Christmas before we have to take all the stuff down. So we decided to do it earlier. Our tree went up right at the very beginning of November. And just this past week, I put up all the Christmas lights. And to say that it went off without a hitch would be a lie. But what's even better is my Ring doorbell camera caught most of it on film. And I watched them all back because Jordan, she made a comment. She was like, "Oh, you got the color lights." And I was like, "How do you even know what I'm doing right now?" And she's like, "Oh, I was spying on you through the doorbell camera." And I found that as creepy as it was, I'm glad she said it because I was able to go back and there are some gems, and I spliced them all together in a video that I'm going to share with you guys because I think the world needs to see this. So this is me putting up Christmas lights through the eyes of our doorbell camera. Enjoy. Just enjoy.
Goddamn fucking shit. Fuck me, the fucking asshole. Fuck, man. Fuck. Fuck.
Yeah, and that's the result. Yeah, Paul, in Florida, it's a whole different beast here, man. The tool belt was important because I did not trust that ladder whatsoever. And I needed to have, like, the little clips for the lights. And anyway. And the proper footwear. I was full of the Christmas spirit. That's for sure. Brett over there on Facebook said, "It sounds like Yosemite Sam's putting up your decorations." It's true, guys. Have you guys ever laughed so hard that you blacked out, or were like almost blacking out? When I saw that clip of me just really just laying into myself. I was sitting here in this seat watching that clip, and I laughed so hard that I thought I was going to black out. I thought that might be the end of me. I thought that I may actually be here sitting in my chair, dead, and Jordan would come home and find me here with a huge grin on my face and that video just cycling over and over again, and then I laughed to death. And then it occurred to me that if that's how I went out, that's how I want to go. I want to die because I laughed so hard that my heart stopped. So that's it. That's to me, that's the pinnacle. But yeah, I had to share because that clip, I was watching it, as every time you walk in front of the doorbell, it starts filming, There's just little clips. So anytime I was moving around, and it just put together this whole timeline of putting up the Christmas lights. And so, I was just kind of watching through them. And it got to that point where I was just mad because they were tangled in the tree. They were coming unhooked from the other side. It was a whole mess. My blood pressure definitely spiked. But, man, all in all, it was a lot of fun, and the lights actually, aside from some of those little snafus, went up really without a problem, and they look great. And yeah, so still a couple more things to do, but that's the gist of it there. But anyway, let's see. One more check of the comments here. Very quickly, we'll go through our celebrity birthdays. There's not many, but Owen Wilson's turning 54 years old today. Of course, the comedic actor who starred in such films as Zoolander, Wedding Crashers, Meet the Parents, and Night at the Museum films. He also co-wrote the film Rushmore, The Royal Tenenbaums, and Bottle Rocket with director Wes Anderson. So, Owen Wilson, 54. Turning the big 6-0 today, the lead guitarist for heavy metal band Metallica, Kirk Hammett. Celebrating his birthday today, the group, known, of course, for their self-titled album, which has also been called the Black Album. He's also a member of Exodus, a thrash metal outfit. So Kirk Hammett turning 60 years old today. Turning 52, stand-up comedian and actor best known for portraying Day-Day Jones in the Friday films, Mike Epps. He also appeared in the smash hit The Hangover back in 2009. 52 years old today. And rounding out our birthdays here, and incredibly hard to believe, turning 40 today. Comedic actor known for playing Brad Williams on ABC's Happy Endings, Damon Wayans Jr. He also played Ernie Coach Tagliabue on Fox's New Girl. In 2018, he began starring in Happy Together. He also provided his voice for the character Wasabi in the 2014 Disney film Big Hero 6. So Damon Wayans Jr. turning 40 today. Yes, happy birthday, Black Doug. Yep. Happy birthday to our celebrities there. Really quickly, going to go through our shameless plugs. Tonight, I'll be performing at Chuck's Seafood Restaurant out on the island there in Fort Pierce. I'll be there at 6 p.m., so come and hang out with me. Bring a jacket because it gets really windy and pretty cold there. But they have this wonderful new, I don't even know what you call it, canopy over the top of their tiki bar area. It used to be just open to the elements, and now it's actually covered and really nice. I used to hate to have to cancel if the rain looked like it was coming in because there's just nowhere to run if it rained on you at that particular place. But now they have this wonderful cover and makes it much easier to just throw a tarp on things and anchor everything down and be done with it. But I'll be there tonight. It's also one of my favorite places to play. So 6 to 9, I'll be out there tonight. So come and say hi. Of course, check out the Jams and Cocktails podcast. We're on a hiatus until December, but we have a pop-up event coming up next week. We're going to be doing the Pink Floyd and Wizard of Oz mashup. We're going to be watching that film. We'll have a little brief mini podcast before, about 30 minutes of that, just kind of talking, catching up with you guys, talking about what to expect, and then we're going to watch the film. And then we'll have a little chat about it afterwards, and that'll be that next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hope that you've enjoyed the replays. Thanks for tuning into those as well. And you can check out all of our history of podcasts on YouTube. You can watch it, or you can listen wherever you listen to podcasts. This podcast, by the way, you don't have to start at episode 1 to catch up because the truth is the earlier episodes are really, really cringy and outdated. So you could start from the top down and work your way down into the madness. It's just fine. Unless there's a specific local artist that you want to know more about, then you can scroll through and find them too. But so check that out and subscribe to us on YouTube. That would be great. Of course, JNC Radio, we were talking about that a little bit earlier, our companion internet radio station, spinning music all day long, mix of local stuff and others. Check that out at jncpodcast.com or on the Live365 Radio App, which is free from your favorite app store. Nothing to sign up for. You just open it on your phone, search for JNC Radio, and add us to your favorites. Good thing to listen to. The Drums and Rums podcast, Paul tuning in with me this morning. I appreciate it. His live stream's going live tonight at 8 p.m., if I'm not mistaken. The biggest happy hour and a half hour postponed because he had to go and pick up the wifey from the airport yesterday. So that'll be going on tonight, 8 p.m. Check it out. And check out his podcasts that traditionally drop on Tuesdays. and all of his offerings. Really, really great stuff. High-quality guests, very informative podcast, and fun. So check it out. Also, a shout-out to our friends at Code Rum, Hop Life Brewing, the Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart, our friends at the Bug Juice, my friend Captain Bill Black at Search and Salvage, renowned treasure hunter. I've had the privilege and the honor, really, of being able to go out a couple of times and take a look at history, So what they're doing out there is really a wonderful thing. And I hope that he finds what he's looking for. But, yep, you can follow them on social media. And he's a great dude to boot. So Bill Black from Search and Salvage. Speaking of pirates and in boats and things, we have the Pirates and Parrot Heads Party in Paradise cruise coming up January 13th through the 15th, sailing out of the Port of Palm Beach aboard the Margaritaville at Sea that's being put on by Captain Ringo, Johnny Ringo from the Code Rum Company, and the Tropically Impaired brand. Among others. I think we actually have a little logo on there, so we are a sponsor in some way. I'll have to talk to my people about that. But yes, we'll be on that cruise. I believe Paul said he's coming too, so come and sail with us 13th through the 15th in January. It'll be a good time. We're going to Grand Bahama, which I know is Jordan's favorite. But it's going to be a good time. There's going to be an island party. There's exclusive stuff. Jesse Rice, a Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter, will be there performing and hanging out with us. So it's going to be a good time. Check it out. You can find out more info on that on jncpodcast.com. Link you straight to the Facebook event for that cruise. Also, check out our Patreon page. I know I mention it and describe it, but it's basically fan crowdsourcing for creators like me and like Paul. So check that out. It's $5 a month. You get some behind-the-scenes stuff. You'll be invited to some other interesting patrons only. As we get more patrons, we'll have special things for just you guys. But yeah, I don't promise a lot of stuff, but you're definitely helping us out with shenanigans and challenges and offsetting some of those costs. So we appreciate that if you can. If not, you can help us out by sharing these shows with your friends, subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on social media, and all of that fun stuff. And I appreciate you all so much. And that does it for my show this morning. I thank you so much for tuning in with me this morning. I hope that you have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. We'll see you back here Monday morning, 8 a.m., broadcasting live from the legendary JNC Lounge. I'm Brad Brock. I love you guys. Peace.